Well, good morning, everybody. It's absolutely thrilling to see you. I joined the party in something like 1995, and it was one man and a dog. It was me, a mate from the rugby club, and a dog called Sam, funny enough. A border collie, and fascinating enough, I've known Sam Cross for some years. We were business colleagues many years ago, and my dog Sam is a bit brighter than Sam, but you're welcome anyway. This is really very, very exciting because, as I say, the momentum that is clearly here and you can clearly feel. I've been on sort of what they call a prawn cocktail offensive in London with the press, and I had coffee yesterday with the Financial Times, lunch with the London Times, and the afternoon with Janet Daly, the well-known Daily Telegraph correspondent and legal writer. And I can feel that there's an enormous sea change when they, when the whole thing kicked off a few years ago, crackpots, fruitcakes, loonies, and all the rest of it was with it, and closet racists, and all the abuse that we've had to suffer. I've always taken grave exception to the closet racist thing because it's so obviously absurd. It's more difficult to actually counteract lunatics and fruitcakes, I have to say, because most of us are. You wouldn't be in this bloody game otherwise, would you? I mean, really. I put my hand up as being a loony and a fruitcake. But what is interesting when I was speaking, for example, about at the conference on flat tax, which is a new platform, well, not a new platform, but re-engaging on that platform, with a transferable threshold, for example. So we value the only political party at the moment who is valuing the spouse that stays at home to look after the family as valuable as the one that goes to work. I think that's a statement of the blindingly bloody obvious, but I don't see why it is usually, to be politically incorrect, it's normally the mum that chooses to stay at home and look after the family, bring the family up. And I think over the years society has shown that's much the best way. Bringing a family unit, mother at the centre of it, that's, when we got away from this in the 60s, that's when society started to break down. When you get children with no dads or different dads, you get crime, you get all the antisocial behaviour. That comes with a breakdown of the family. And people say, oh, it's poverty and all that. It's absolute nonsense. You didn't have that in the 1930s. There was extreme poverty in the 1930s. The people looked out for each other, they were neighbourly. Grandmas weren't beaten up for their bloody handbags and all that stuff. This is all new. This is new. And it's because we've allowed society to start breaking down. We're fighting back on that, and there is absolutely no question in my mind that the press are becoming very much more sympathetic to us. The Times, the Telegraph, over the weekend at our conference, reported this flat tax and this real, genuine family-friendly approach very favourably. So there is this sea change going on. And behind the scenes also there are some very senior people now coming to us who were within the Cameron circle, the inner circle. To be a Conservative Party inner circle person, it was £50,000 a year, very significant. And one gentleman was telling me, who's come across to us from West Yorkshire in point of fact, he said, you paid your £50,000 a year to talk to Cameron. It gave you 5 or 6 minutes with Cameron at the sort of the bun fight, the annual bun fight, regional bun fight. And he said, Cameron just stared over my shoulder. He was prepared to give me 6 minutes, but he wasn't prepared to listen to me at all. He was just waiting. He was just waiting for the 6 minutes to be over so he could go to the next one. And I spoke to Janet Daly yesterday afternoon. And apparently he treats his colleagues even at cabinet level much the same way. He's really slightly socially dysfunctional. He doesn't really communicate with people. He's not a communicator. And I gather from the inside track from Janet Daly, who knows these people personally, that Osborne, if you suggest to Osborne that he might have made a mistake or something in the budget isn't quite right, and I would argue that his last budget, almost everything was wrong, but interestingly enough, we all hate criticism. Of course we do. We're human beings. We're constructive criticism. We hate constructive criticism. We're all honest with ourselves. But I do think if you're Chancellor of the Exchequer, you should take some criticism or some advice from people who might know a little bit more about economics than you do, which in the case of George Osborne is everybody. So apparently he folds up like a deck chair. If you try and make any criticism of him, you know, he just closes down and he won't talk to you. And I don't think that's a very relevant way of actually trying to take an economy forward, closing your mind off to people who might be able to give you some guidance or input. But this is about local elections, and so I'm going to shut up. There's no point in me and Scarborough talking about the implication of fractional reserve banking on the GDP implications of North America and NAFTA, because I don't think anybody's bloody interested. Nobody's bloody interested. I'm just an anorak and a geek for a living who got elected by mistake. So, I'm going to hand over now to Graham Taylor, because he's just going to focus up on what's local and take it from there, because in this sort of thing, I like to do my best and help in any way I can, but this is local stuff, and my knowledge is not extensive enough to talk any further. So Graham, perhaps you'd take it away.
Well, thank you, Godfrey. If somebody had said to me that 2 years ago, in 2 years' time you'll be standing at a UKIP meeting in Scarborough, I said, well, you're criminally insane. That man was Godfrey Bloom, who certainly for a cup of coffee in Driffield. It is really good to be here. My career has been very varied. I started life as a policeman. I was a North Yorkshire policeman for many years. I was looking after Toby Horton's father-in-law as his village bobby. I then became a vicar. I was the vicar of Whitby for 5 years, and then moved down here to Carlton. In that time, I've written 20 books. We've sold about 9 million worldwide. My first book's coming out as a film in October of this year with a Hollywood Film Company. I'm not a politician. I never wanted to get into politics, but the state of this country is so much that I decided that I had to make a stand, and I had to say what I believed. And I was a supporter of the Tory party. I have given the Tory party lots of money. I've had David Cameron stare over my shoulder. I've had William Hague dribble down my back for the cheque. I've got
close with him.
And this is how they are. William Hague, I met him on the Wednesday at an event where he was wanting money, and on the Friday he was awarding me the Children's Book of the Year award. And he went, "Hello, it's really nice to meet you." And I went, "Well, I was talking to you on Wednesday. Haven't you got a clue who I am?" He said, "No, have we met before?" And I actually just got my award, I turned and walked off the stage. And that is the kind of people we're dealing with. They don't really engage with people. They don't really engage with people who are trying to give them money. I'm standing in this election because, like all these gentlemen and ladies here, I'm just sick to my back teeth of what's happening to my country. I'm seeing a fantastic country being ground into just rubbed into the ground. I'm seeing wind farms being built in a beautiful sea. I'm seeing gas being extracted where people don't want gas extracted. I'm seeing shales being dug up where shales don't want to be dug up. And locally, I'm seeing a town like Scarborough, my hometown, just falling to pieces. And North Yorkshire County Council doesn't do anything. My daughters have just opened a new business. They left the university and they set up their own cafe and bookshop on Bar Street. All they keep saying to me, Dad, is, "Dad, why does North Yorkshire County Council try and put us out of business? They won't help us with putting tables outside. They want to charge them £1,000 a year to put 2 tables outside a coffee shop." They're just destroying local business. And this is why I'm standing. But more importantly for us, and especially for the candidates, I deal with the press every day. I deal with television every day. And I'm constantly doing press interviews. And since I announced in the Yorkshire Post that I was going to actually become a member of UKIP, I have seen a real change in the way people deal with me. They are fascinated by UKIP. And I've seen the way in which the Tories deal with me. I was hunted down in a supermarket. I had a man following me around the supermarket. And as an ex-copper, I was aware of this man following me. I thought, I'm not that attractive, so he can't follow me for that reason. And he got to the checkout. I put my gin and tonic on the conveyor belt. And he looked at me and he said, "That looks like the shopping of a best-selling author." I said, "Oh, yes, well done." He said, "It also looks like the shopping of a politician." Oh. And he just handed me his card. He said, "I'm the regional organiser for the Conservative Party. Would you like to ring me and have a chat?" They are frightened. They are frightened of you and you and you and you because you are bringing something new to politics. You are bringing honesty and integrity. But beware, because the press will be out to catch